Near the bottom of the league in offensive possessions. That's one of the reasons why they give up the fewest points in the NBA. Open three, Johnson. Joe Johnson shot as well at the three-point line as Steph Curry did this year. Here in game one. George Hill, nice pass to Diaw. And Diaw gives it up. And Joe Johnson with a short jumper.
Where he shot just a little bit more. He's only taken, 3 shots tonight?
Yeah, 1 of 3 points. Joe Johnson able to muscle it home. Here's Hill to Favors. Pass deflected. Johnson now pulls up and scores. A 5-point lead for Utah. Joe Johnson with 19 points.
Game ball right now. If Utah wins, goes to Joe Johnson. He has been spectacular.
Utah has a timeout. Gets it across half court. Won't use the timeout. 5 seconds left. Joe Johnson with 4. Johnson with 2. Drives in. Puts it up. Gets the bounce at the gun. And the Jazz win game 1. ISO Joe.
And a nice job here. Ran it down beautifully. What a tough shot over the top of DeAndre Jordan. They get the kind bounce, but a gutsy win here for the Utah Jazz. But this is the matchup they wanted. Jamal Crawford on Joe Johnson. He takes his time, gets into the paint. That's a tough shot. And sometimes you got to get a little lucky for those shots to roll in.
Really, the guard, quicker, smaller guys has been a huge asset for the Jazz. Johnson, one-on-one with Crawford. ISO Joe. Finish it at the rim. 12 points, 7 rebounds for Jordan. Johnson takes it in and gets the bounce. Strong move. 1.5 second difference. Shot clock, the game clock winding down here in the third. Johnson against Felton. Johnson knocks it down. Joe Johnson.
Pierce is into the game for the Clippers as well. It is Hill sizing up the bigger Jordan. Out to Johnson. It's their 4th for the first quarter. Johnson, back to back.
And for Utah to stretch this lead a little bit, they played so well, and this score does not reflect that.
Johnson against Jordan, and Joe Johnson with 7 points tonight off the bench for the Jazz. Who can step up? It's Johnson finally putting in a much-needed Jazz field goal. Set with 11 on the shot clock. The hero of game 1, Joe Johnson, bumping against DeAndre Jordan. Big buckets for ISO Joe here in the 4th quarter.
4-18 advantage. Points in the paint for the Jazz.
Joe Johnson inside, caught by Favors. Under 3 to go. Johnson the drive. Baumute is there.
Good patience by ISO Joe Johnson.
No Hayward. They've had to go to the bench. And they have struck it. Johnson, one of the reasons why in a 1-point game.
And ISO Joe with 1.5 minutes left. Little step back over DeAndre Jordan. Wow, what a shot by Joe Johnson.
Joe at his best. He's got Jordan, shakes him off a little bit. Jordan makes a nice contest, and he shoots a sky.
Gets a screen. 3-pointer is up for Hill. Kept alive. Another offensive board. Joe Johnson for 3.
Johnson with a cross-court pass. Hill now. Johnson gets it back on the drive. The floater and 1. And that was a good move. See, that's a difficult pass for him. It's tough to make that decision. Derek Favors with his 8th point of the game off the great dime from Joe Johnson. 14-point lead. Got plenty of time here to get a good shot. Don't sleep on Joe Johnson. What a pass to Hood! Oh, he caught the Clippers napping. Creating the passing lane. Pass perfect. This presentation of the NBA playoffs continue. Thrives. He likes to embrace the challenge.
Well, he's good at running the clock to get off a fairly decent shot.
And he gets another floater to go, Hubie.
If you're not going to run the double team at him in the paint, you're going to be in trouble.